Hello YouTube, another update on the ever-changing ongoing Ducati project. You can see things are a lot different. I've got wiring harness diagrams laid out all over the place. The fairing has been cut. There appears to be some sort of half-assed fiberglass seat pan here, and a tail light and turn signals and a license plate light and holes for other turn signals and a nice Frenched in hole for a headlight. So what the heck's going on? I actually started to make a series of videos on this a while back, a couple days ago. Summer holidays have started, and basically I realized I was rambling on and it was almost nonsensical. So you can see a lot's been done in the few days that I've had off. Started to strip the paint off this thing. I've got this funny looking object, which is a nice little 4-inch headlight with high and low beam, E-marked, legal, which slides in here like so to make it look like a Suzuka endurance racing bike or something vintage from the 1980s, which of course where this frame and ultimate design influence was from. So yeah, I think on a previous video I said something about waiting for some parts to come in, and then making a decision which way I'm going to go on the bike. So this was the part. So Moto Forza fairings out of the Czech Republic, which is where this and the tail are from, offer these fiberglass pieces, which don't look that difficult, but would be a bugger to make unless you had some serious fiberglassing skills. And the idea is you cut a hole in your fairing, you glass it in, and then you have a flange here to mount some sort of headlight structure to the back, and that's what I've done. And luckily they had one that would work with not huge but also not tiny projector beam. It's kind of the right size that suits the nature of this this style of bike. So because obviously with the lights and stuff it's going to go to a street bike, I've decided to get rid of the lower fairing. Simply because it didn't look that, it looked okay, but it didn't mount that well on the bike. Again, we're talking about molds that are now 40 plus years old, or pieces pulled from molds that were taken from 40 plus years old, and it just didn't mount up right. So the 3/4 style fairing I think will look good. I've started to strip the paint back with my awesome DeWalt oscillating sander, which does a really good job actually. And I'm going to come up with a slightly different paint scheme, obviously. Got a street legal or DOT legal Coso taillight. It is a bit on the large side, I guess, but this is a retro style bike, so it's got to be round, and again, a projector beam or an LED style really doesn't suit the bike that well. So the big thing, of course, is I did take an old harness and simplify it to work as a race harness. So likewise, oh, there's a wasp here visiting. I've decided to found a monster. I think it was from a early 90s monster 600, 750, 900. They're all the same harness. There were some slight differences in terms of the wires that were included, but with this tail section removed, I've got the battery mounted up here. Bracket's fairly sturdy. Added a reinforcement piece here, just a piece of angle steel. Doesn't look that great, but it will be hidden, and it does help support the battery box. I mounted the full fuse box here. Some relays here. I was able to get rid of a big 40 amp fuse that ran to the regulator rectifier because the aftermarket one comes with its own. I am going to reinforce this piece here just with another bracket. It vibrates a bit. You don't want it too solid, but that's just a bit loose for my taste. It does stick out quite a ways, so another brace coming up here will definitely help and keep it firmed up. The Fox shock was overkill for something like this, so I actually bought a YSS shock, which has a combined preload and rebound adjustable and some length adjustment. and sold the Fox for, actually, even with the rebuild that I did, for a tidy profit. And so the guy who bought the shock has got a brand new triple clicker Fox vintage shock, remote reservoir, and some really nice condition that'll last him a good time. So I'm always curious as to how wiring harnesses change over time. But this one here had less ground wires going to the battery, but more ground wires being earthed, as my British friends say, or grounded to the frame. So there's one here, there's one up front. Obviously got the side stand on. It's not wired in though. I'm not going to bother with that. Hopefully that isn't a safety issue, but the side stand cutout switches are known to act up anyway. So I've just taken it right out of the wiring loom and eliminated it. So I had the whole wiring harness, all the sheathing removed and cut out, and I've rewrapped it just with some good quality electrical tape. So that should be fine. It's not the cheap stuff, it's the more expensive 3M stuff, and you do use a lot when you wrap a whole wiring harness, but anyway, that's taken care of. What else? I've just got this just mounted on two items because there's going to be some more sanding, and I need to fill a few holes, so this comes off nice and easy. Still need to hook up the speedometer drive here, but these little pieces here, I got these from Amazon, a whole kit, like 270 piece Deutsch style fasteners from Amazon for 30 bucks Canadian, and then shipped in like 2 days. So that's obviously pretty good. Need to wire in the turn signals. Need to come up with some other crimp connectors here. But I have fired the bike up. I just ran it with whatever fuel was left in the float bowls, and everything works. I did have a bit of a problem with the horn, and I thought there was a break in the wiring, or I started to chase things down. I thought, you know what, go back and check the switch first, and it was the actual problem with the switch. So I took an opportunity to service this left-hand side switch gear, and everything works. But I'll keep an eye out for maybe one in slightly newer shape, because it has started to wear out a bit. So the only tricky bits that I need to do yet is I need to modify the rear brake caliper bracket, so I can mount, this is a bracket for the COSO speed sensor, and this is too high, this isn't the right shape, this isn't the right shape. So I realized I just need to trim that off a bit and then put another bolt through there. There's plenty of room on the back side for clearance, so that you replace one of these with a magnetic bolt, and then the Hall effect sensor, every time it passes by it takes a reading. You calculate the circumference of the tire, and that gives you darn accurate speed. So I'll do that one of these days. Obviously work in progress. I also need to sort out the rear brake system, because I do need to put a pressure switch here, and this is so close here, there's no room to fit a pressure switch like sandwiched in there. So I'm going to cant the rear brake master cylinder up a bit. So I'll just make a little bracket so it's oriented in the right way and you can clear it. So I'll have to, again, modify a lot of this stuff here just to get it out of the way, but that should be basically it. So of course there's so much that needs to be done. You know, the bike needs to, like, I'm finishing off the dry build. I want to make sure that everything works properly, take it for a quick spin, and then tear it all apart again. Luckily the engine appears to be good to go, no leaks, runs fine. Might need to do a little more tweaking with the carburation, but in principle, as it stands right now, it's fine. So to get a few more horsepower out of it so it's less slow on the track would have meant putting a lot of money into it, which didn't really make a lot of sense. So it'll be just a fun little Sunday morning street ride type bike. So again, 12 steps from now, we'll be stripping it all down, getting the frame sandblasted, powder coated. I can get a new vehicle identification number assigned to this, so it's legal. And then paint. So I think I'll come up with some sort of similar to this in that it was a 3-color scheme, but I think I'm going to come up with a combination or a take on the Italian tricolor paint scheme. But first I need to fill some holes in the fiberglass and reinforce this seat base here. It's just a bit, still a bit too flexy. So another layer of glass over top of that I think will be good. And yeah, keep plugging away. So big changes in that, you know, you blink and I've changed my mind on this, but I was going back and forth of this being a dedicated track bike, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's fun to wring a small bike's neck, there's no doubt about it, but it would be a shame to bend this where it's at right now. And it's I was worried about the process to get a VIN number assigned would be challenging and difficult, and it's really not. So that's the good news. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this. So anyway, oh yeah, also found this is interesting. This is an old key assembly from 1999 SSIE, and it actually works with the harness. I needed to come up with a little bracket here to fit it to the Triumph forks. It sticks out a bit too far, but it is what it is. So I will tidy that up and keep plugging away on this. So again, thanks for checking my videos and supporting my channel, all 300 and something subscribers. I'll keep updating things as they come along. Check back soon.